One of the situations that drives people to see a psychiatrist, in an urgent way is when they have an acute anxiety attack. And anxiety is a kind of a general category, and one of the types of anxieties that really gives people the most distress is panic attacks. If you have an acute panic attack, it's actually physical, it's physiologic, and some people are genetically prone to having panic attacks, and when they do have it, it's a very physical sensation. So their heart races, they start to sweat, they got short of breath, they have a tremor, they feel like they're going crazy, they feel like they need to escape. It's like an animal that's in a fight or flight situation where it senses imminent danger. When that happens, it lasts about 15 to 20 minutes, and then it passes, and then they feel kind of depleted and exhausted. Every time a person experiences a panic attack, whatever environment they experience it in, they now associate that as being a dangerous place. So a lot of phobias result from that. So if you have your first panic attack in a restaurant, you'll start avoiding that restaurant. If you have your first panic attack, or if you have a panic attack on an elevator, you avoid elevators or bridges or etc. Over time, the more panic attacks you have, it tends to actually intensify, and then it brings on what's called anticipatory anxiety. So now you worry about, if I go there, will I have a panic attack? So they start avoiding all those places that have previously been associated with a panic attack. And then on top of that, they start to avoid a lot of other settings. They kind of generalize it to other environments. So their life becomes narrower and narrower. The trigger can sometimes be nothing at all. It can just occur out of the blue. So it's not unusual for people to wake up out of sleep with a full-blown panic attack. And so it's not always associated with an event. When somebody is in that state, there's no talking them out of it. There's no reasoning with them. So basically it's just comfort. This can start basically at any age. There's no real trigger, there's no real event. It's just this person wakes up one day and they walk into a room and they have their first panic attack. Sometimes there are going to be lifestyle things that can contribute to it. For example, if a young man that has sort of a family history of anxiety might be prone to drinking, because when he drinks, their anxiety calms down. But then over time what happens is every time they drink, and their blood alcohol level goes up, the next morning they're much more prone to having panic attacks. By self-medicating with alcohol, they're actually perpetuating more panic attacks and more anxiety the next day. If you're just somebody who's never been seen, doesn't know anything about panic attacks, and you're experiencing this acute sort of intense physical symptoms, the safest thing to do is to be seen in an emergency room to make sure that it's not a panic attack. Now, if you know that you are prone to panic attacks, you've seen them before, you've had them before, you've seen family members. Now, therapy can help some of it, especially cognitive behavioral therapy, sometimes desensitization therapy, where people learn, okay, this is really just a trick, my brain is playing on me. But more importantly, if we can calm it down with medication, then do the therapy. It wouldn't hurt to talk to a professional, be evaluated, kind of learn more about your genetics. So if the situation does arise, now you can actually make contact with that person and say, hey, here's what's happened, what can you do to help me out?